So, I had dance class tonight. Dance class whooped my ass tonight. And it wasn't heels. It wasn't heels. It was jazz. Me and Jazz, we have a history. So, you may or may not know, but I am from Miami, Florida, and I started dancing when I went to hopefully I say it right. Sometimes I say it wrong when I be saying it, but the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center. That's where I started everything. Dancing, singing, acting, performing. The only thing I didn't do there was piano. But I used to go there for summer camps. Like one day my dad was like, he got it from, I don't know who he got it from, but their daughter was going there. And he was like, do you want to go there? And I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, I'm going to sign you up. So he signed me up. And I'm trying to remember what grade I was in the first time I went. I think I went 2 summers in total. The first summer that I went, I was young. I was real young. I think I was still like in elementary school. And I did, I'm just talking about dance right now. I did jazz, right? Now, I had different dance teachers, but one of my dance teachers, you probably know her, she used to be a heat dancer, and she also, her team made it on the Bring It series, and she also had her own series on, was it Lifetime? The first one, I think it was called like Step Up or something like that. And then the second one, she just did it was on the Black Network or something. But Tracy Young Byron, she was my teacher at that time. So this is old, this is a long time ago. This is before all that. But she was one of my teachers. And the first like jazz one, I think it was like jazz 1 and then jazz 2. So I did jazz 1 the first time I went there, and I was like really good, right? But that was jazz 1. Then I believe that I was gifted in music, and I was also gifted in dance. I believe I was gifted in the arts. So naturally I could do certain things, but you have to develop your gifts. You can't just have your gift and just be like, oh, So I was young, was real young, and was able to like pick up the choreography real fast, do it real good. I was interested in it, but it was my first time doing it, and I was really good. And then I remember I came back the next time I came back, I was like 12 years old. So I believe the first time I went, I was in elementary school, but the next time I went, I was like 12. And I went and I tried out for jazz too. Now, mind you, all this time has passed. The first time I went, I was in the single digits. So I probably was like, I was in elementary, so I was probably like no more than 8, maybe 9. Go from 7, 8, and 9. I was one of them numbers, right? The first time I went. Second time I went, I was like 12 years old, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try jazz too. Y'all, I went and tried out for jazz too, not thinking it was like, the dance community is serious. Not thinking at that age, like, you gotta have chops, right? Like in music, I knew that you gotta have chops. You can't just be doing whatever you're gonna do, but it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. So all that time had passed, I was still doing music, and I decided, I'm going back to the summer camp. Let me take this class. Got in there, And this class, she did cuts. So she gave us a I don't know if it was 1 8 count, 2 8 counts. I don't know how many 8 counts it was, but she taught us the choreography, and it wasn't even that I didn't pick up the choreography, but if you just look at her work, she's a dancer. Okay, she's a dancer, and mind you, the other girls that was in the class, they have been continuously dancing. Like, they took dance serious from a young age. Like, it was in them. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the case for me. I just can dance. So, they was ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah 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 ah, right? And I was just like, ooh, I'm taking jazz too, right? So when it came down to the end of learning the choreography, she went around, and if you just watch her shows, she's strict. She went around and she was like, no, no, no. Of course she came to me and she was like, no. And I didn't, not to say I didn't take it well, but I was just like, oh, okay. And when I tell you I never went back to dance, I never went back to dance. I actually came back to that summer camp. Like, I kept taking big gaps. I went to another summer camp, that's why. I went to another summer camp and I started getting heavy in music. And that was really like the deciding factor of me honing in on my gifts. And I stopped honing in on dance because she cut me from the class. Like, when she cut those people that she was cutting, you got cut from the class. You didn't get cut from the routine. You got cut from the class. This is not the class for you. So once I got cut, I just stopped. And I just went full force in music. After that, it was singing, it was writing, it was, it was like theater type stuff. It was nothing. I didn't pay attention to dance after that. And it's not even like I was like broken about it. It's not for me, I guess. It's how I felt. So that's the story behind, me coming back to jazz. Like, so now, that's where we at right now. I got a bone to pick with jazz, and we finna conquer jazz. We finna beat jazz ass tonight. Jazz gave me the 1-2, but I still stuck with it. It ain't like it wasn't a KO. It was not a KO. I still was throwing, but jazz gonna have to see me again because I'm popping up. And it's not even the first jazz class I done took recently. Like, I took a jazz class last week, but it was at another studio. I think that was beginning jazz. So I'm gonna go to that jazz class too, but I'm coming back to this jazz class because I'm finna knock jazz out. But I just wanted to share that. That's how the class went tonight. So even we didn't even have time to record. Only one person recorded, and that was at the very end of the class. You gotta have technique for jazz. They was like boom boom pop boom ting ting top boom ting ting top. I was like, when I first got in there, my head was spinning, and the teacher was like, she was like, now I know you don't believe that. I said, look, this class got my head spinning. This whole class got my head spinning. But she had this thing of, why do you dance? And she was like, you gotta know your why. Certain people were telling their whys. And so I raised my hand and I told her, that's why I came back to jazz. Because when I got cut from that class, I never went back to dance. Like, I want to say the next dance class that I took after that, I was 24 years old the next time I took a dance class. When I tell you I dropped it, after she said no, I was like, oh, okay, it's not for me. Not for me. I dropped it. So, but, like I said, you're held accountable for your giftings, and now that I'm older and more mature, I can understand that, and I can mentally handle what it takes to be a dancer now. You know, down to the discipline, because she was the one who started the discipline as far as dancing was concerned. Because she was my first teacher. So, but yeah, that's how tonight went. We did have dance class. I know I told y'all see y'all next class, but jazz ain't for punks. I'm just be real with you. Jazz is not for the weak. But I'm coming back. Y'all gonna see, watch.